and welcome. My name is Samantha Minitzi. I am a relationship and leadership coach. I help people learn how to fearlessly express themselves. Okay, so in light with today's topic, how to become a human magnet, let's dive right into it. I despise videos where you have to fluff around. And side note, I'm a plant mommy as well, so if you do see plants around me, please bear with me. I love plants. Okay, how to become a human magnet. I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you if you put them into action. Knowledge without implementation is equals to disappointment. Okay, so if you want results, please ensure that you implement these 3 strategies. The first strategy is be a loving person. Be a loving person. Whether you want to admit it or not, as long as you live on planet Earth, building relationships, it's an essential skill because we have to deal and live and cooperate with people everywhere you go. So how do you then become this human magnet so that when you do engage with people, you have pleasant engagements, you have meaningful connections, right? So the first tip, like I said, love. Be a loving person. It's so sad to see how devoid of love a lot of relationships are. So love shouldn't only be limited to your friends, relatives, and other loved ones, but it's actually a quality that you can share with anyone that you meet. How do you do that? Your energy says a lot about you. So when you meet people, you have to ensure that you exude that energy of love. It's in how you react and respond when someone walks into a room. Are you the person that continues to do whatever they were doing, paying no mind to the person that just walked into the room? Or are you someone that stops for that brief moment just to acknowledge the presence of the person that just walked into the room? It might seem like a small thing, but I kid you not, it makes a world of a difference. You being able to show that brightness, that bright facial expression that I am happy to see you, says a lot, and it really sticks a lot to people's memory more than you can ever imagine. So ensure that you make people feel wanted, right? Make people feel wanted. You have no idea how much people battle with just feeling like, do people even like me? Do people even want to be around me? So if you are that person that makes it obvious that, hey, I see you, I acknowledge you, I appreciate you, I am happy to see you, guess what? That's going to make you stand out, because we're living in a world where, unfortunately, as human beings, it's just a lot of self-absorption that you see. So when you finally see someone that's able to just step out of themselves and acknowledge the next person, that is magical. That is pure gold. And people want to hold on to that. So when people meet you, they either feel threatened or they feel accepted and wanted. So you have to be very aware of how you make people feel, right? And you can gain that awareness by noticing how they react to you. Do people want to be around you? Do people rather gravitate towards others and just prefer to avoid you? All of that speaks volumes about how you make people feel. So ensure that you are sensitive to the feelings of people and the energy that you exude to others. Okay, there's more to love than just that, obviously, and we're going to speak about it in this next point. Okay, so the next point is be a great listener. Be a great listener. A lot of relationships crumble because of either party not being able to listen effectively to the other person. And listening is actually an art. It's a skill that you have to develop. How do you do that? Okay, so listening is not just obviously limited to listening to the words coming out of someone's mouth. You have to be able to see beyond that. Women, for example, most women have a habit of saying things that they don't mean, and then they'll still get angry at you for not understanding them, even though they said one thing. Why is that so? It's because they expect you to read between the lines. They expect you to understand what they need. Sometimes they don't say it because of some fear that they have. But in general, that goes to show us that people really need you to pay attention to them. If you want to know who people really are and what they really need, then you have to open your ears and your eyes. So observe people. How do you do that? When someone is talking, look at their facial expressions. Shut down your thoughts, right? There's so many thoughts that will be swirling in our minds when someone is talking. So being a great listener is actually being intentional about listening to the other person, which means I have to intentionally switch off those thoughts that will be going up and down my head 24/7, and I have to be able to immerse myself in the experience of the other person that they're trying to share with me. Right? That's where we hear about things like empathy, being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's what makes people feel like, wow, my connection with this person is strong. Why? Because you would have been able to get into their shoes and see the world through their eyes. So there's a plane flying. Sorry if the noise is blocking. But yes, just to elaborate more on listening, you also have to be able to look at someone's body language. It speaks volumes about how they're feeling in that moment. It speaks volumes about even what they want to tell you, but they might be afraid of saying. So be a great listener by learning to pay attention to people when they speak. All right? Okay, so let's move on to another important point, which is the last point for today's video, and that is competence, right? Competence. Okay, so you can be a loving person, you can be a great listener, but if you do not develop competence, that is a problem, because people are in relationships because they want something. So you have to be someone that can provide value, right? Provide value. How do you do that? We need to understand the equation of demand and supply. Everywhere you go, there's always a demand. And the person that is able to supply to that demand is the person that succeeds. It's like that in business. The business that is able to supply the needs that are being demanded in that particular market and ensure that when they're supplying those needs, it's the best quality compared to any other person or any other business around, then that's the business that people will flock to. The same thing happens in relationships. You have to be able to understand what the people around you are demanding. What do they want? You can notice this through what people often complain about or what people often talk about. That's how you know, okay, this person actually just needs quality time. This person just needs me to help them solve this problem. So if you become that person that solves the problem in a loving way, then guess what? You are certainly going to be magnetic. So ask yourself, how am I valuable in the relationships that I have with the people around me? Oftentimes, a lot of people feel like people are just not there for me. Nobody cares about me. It's true. It's true. It's like that for a lot of people. However, sometimes we forget to think that, wait, I want people to do this for me, but what am I doing for them? How am I there for the person that I want to give me this? So you have to be willing to stand out first in that person's life. Be the person that can offer something that they possibly cannot get from other people. And then when you offer value to people, guess what? They will be willing to also offer you what you want, because they're going to think, wait, this person is constantly showing up in my life. How am I showing up in their life? And then they would be more willing to even listen to what you have to say. But before you give people what they want, trust me, chances are they won't even have the ears to hear what you're saying, because they are consumed with their problems. So be the person that can stand out by ensuring that you make yourself valuable and relevant to the person, right? So it's really that simple. Be a loving person, be a great listener, and constantly be competent in your relationships. All right, so I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on what are the other important tips that can help you to become a human magnet. I'm so excited to read about your comments, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!